You are listening to episode 151 of the Autism Mom Coach, the hidden cost of walking on eggshells. Welcome to the Autism Mom Coach podcast. I am your host, Lisa Candera. I am a lawyer, a life coach, and most importantly, I am the full-time single mother of a teenager with autism. In this podcast, I am going to share with you the tools and strategies you need so you can fight like hell for your child without burning out. Let's get to it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the podcast. I am so glad you are here, and I hope you are doing well. Before we get to today's topic, I want to remind you that in 2 weeks, I will be hosting a brand new webinar, How to Stop Walking on Eggshells and Start Parenting with Confidence. During this webinar, I am going to break down the cycle of walking on eggshells and show you how to interrupt it so that you can feel calm, capable, and confident when parenting your child with autism. To attend this webinar, all you need to do is register, and you can do that by going to the link in the show notes. And for those of you who register, I highly encourage you to come live to the webinar, because if you do, you will receive a free bonus and you will be able to ask me any questions that you have. All right, let's get to today's topic. For so long, I viewed walking on eggshells or bracing myself for my child's emotions or what might happen next as something that only impacted me. After all, I was experiencing the fear and the anxiety in my body. It was my brain that was ruminating on all of the possibilities and being hypervigilant. But the fact is, walking on eggshells doesn't just impact you in the moment when you're doing it. It impacts all aspects of your life, including the people in it. And it really wasn't until I was able to step back and observe myself and my parenting that I was able to see this in my own life. And now, as a life coach for autism moms across the country, I have a bird's eye view into so many families where I can see the scenario playing out. I can see the ripple effects of one person's emotions on the entire family, on themselves, on their child, on how they parent their child. Walking on eggshells is not just something that happens to you inside of you and it impacts you in the moment. It has a ripple effect throughout your life. All right, so what are some of the hidden costs of walking on eggshells? Well, first, it's emotionally exhausting to you. Being stuck in a constant state of hypervigilance where you're always on edge and scanning for potential triggers will leave you irritable, snappy, and emotionally depleted. Second, it erodes your confidence. When you're walking on eggshells and tiptoeing around your child and afraid of what they may or may not do next and trying to control for everything, it's really hard to feel like a competent parent when that's going on. And over time, this will just chip away at your ability to trust yourself and to trust your own instincts. As a result, you will feel unsure about your parenting decisions, and you will always be afraid of making the wrong decision and the impact that may or may not have on your kiddo. The third hidden cost of walking on eggshells is our children miss out when we do this. When we are avoiding their triggers, when we are signaling to them that we are afraid of their emotions, or when we will do anything that we can to stop or prevent an outburst, we are actually limiting their growth. Shielding them from challenges keeps them in their comfort zone, which means they are not building the life skills that they need to handle discomfort and problem solve on their own. Plus, when you're tiptoeing around your child, it means that you are probably not setting and enforcing boundaries for fear of how your child will react. Maybe that feels like the right or the easy decision in the moment, but in the long term, it's a disservice to you and your child. The more your child relies on you, the more they will rely on you. That means the more dependent they will be upon you and the less independent that they will be, which is exactly the opposite of what we all want. But this is what happens when we are tiptoeing around our children's emotions, or that we think that them having an emotion or having a reaction is something to be avoided at all costs. We deprive them of the opportunity to learn the skills of coping with life as life is. And life as life is means that they are going to experience negative emotions. They're going to be mad. They're going to be angry. They're going to be frustrated. They're going to be disappointed. And the more that we work to prevent them from having these emotions or making these emotions go away as quickly as possible, the less we are teaching them about how to handle and cope with their own emotions. So here's the takeaway. Walking on eggshells isn't harmless. It's not just a short-term coping strategy. It is a pattern that drains your energy, chips away at your confidence, and limits your child's growth. And of course, none of us want this. The reason that we're walking on eggshells in the first place is because we're trying to make things as easy and smooth as painless as possible. We have good intentions, and quite frankly, when you're in a constant fight-flight scenario, the normal thing to do is anything that will stop that fight-flight. And in the moment, we think that appeasement or avoiding is the thing to do it, but it usually doesn't work. And in the long term, it creates consequences for us and our child. This is all to say, if you find yourself bracing yourself for your child's emotions, doing anything that you can to avoid triggers, this is a sign that your fear brain has taken over your parenting experience. This is not unusual for autism parents considering the level of stress that we live under. However, for all of the hard work that we do and all the hopes and dreams we have for creating independent children, this habit is working against us. That's why I urge you, if you are struggling with managing your child's emotions and you're doing anything you can to avoid them or you're afraid of them happening, register for my upcoming webinar, How to Stop Walking on Eggshells and Start Parenting with Confidence. In this webinar, I want to let you know that you are not alone and that there are some simple things that you can implement right away to begin to interrupt this cycle so that you can be the calm, confident parent that your child needs. Again, to register for this webinar, go to the show notes and click the link. All right, everyone, thank you so much. I will talk to you next week. Thanks for listening to the Autism Mom Coach. If you are ready to apply the principles you are learning in these episodes to your life, it is time to schedule a consultation call with me. Podcasts are great, but the ahas are fleeting. Real change comes from application and implementation, and this is exactly what we do in my one-on-one coaching program. To schedule your consultation, go to my website, theautismmomcoach.com, work with me, and take the first step to taking better care of yourself so that you can show up as the parent you want to be for your child with autism.